Hey guys, welcome to episode 8 of Romp Chess Rating Climb. It's been a few days since I posted my last video, but I have been playing a little bit since then. In my last game, I won, raised my ELO up to 575, and today I'll be playing another game, 15-10, so let's just jump right in. And we're searching for an opponent. And let's see here, I'll be playing as black today. Starting with the French defense. If you've been following my channel, that should be really no big surprise to you by now. So just fighting for the center right out of the gate. Pretty standard opening so far. My opponent decides to advance this E pawn. It's still protected. So that does restrict my development of this knight. Otherwise I would put my knight on this square. Let's I could develop the knight to there, which would protect this this pawn. So let's go ahead and do that for now. I can also potentially fianchetto this pawn here, or push this pawn, I'm sorry, and fianchetto here, and put more pressure on this this pawn. Bring this knight out to here, and by doing so I'll put pressure on both these pawns. Actually, let's hold off on that just a bit. Because if I go here, I would like to push this this C pawn to here. If I go ahead and push this pawn here, so I would take back. That would open up this file. I don't want that. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this knight here, attacking both these pawns. Potentially redirect this knight to open up this file for this bishop. But for now, I got to deal with this knight, or this bishop here. So let's go ahead and kick. Let's go ahead and kick the bishop. Moving the bishop back. I redirect my knight to here. Let's go ahead and move the queen, so this knight is no longer pinned. So I got this pressure here. Now I can look at redirecting this knight here to attack this bishop and this pawn, and also opens up this file, or this diagonal, for this bishop. Not too worried about this threat right now. So let's go ahead and do this. Now I don't have anything on this diagonal to worry about. So currently this bishop here is under attack and it's not defended, I could look at bringing this bishop out to b4, which would be a check. I could even bring the bishop to here, put more pressure on this bishop. Just trying to study the board a little bit while my opponent is deciding what to do. Of course, I can't move this knight right now because it's pinned because of this bishop. So that's currently my biggest threat. I want to push these pawns eventually on my queen side anyway. So pushing the a pawn to a6 would be a really good option, because if I take here, white's going to take back, and then that does put this knight over on the rim of the board with potentially nowhere to go. But I can always do that first. Let's go ahead, or next, let's go ahead and kick this bishop, get a tempo here. So they bring the queen down. They bring the queen out, so I can't take here because the rook will be hanging. But I can redirect the queen to here. Let's think. Let's go ahead and put the bishop here. Prepare to castle short. That'll also attack here. So now there's two attackers on this bishop. Okay, so I got two attackers on this bishop. The pawn is kicking the knight here, and I've got this here. So I need to take with the knight, or do I have a better move? I don't have a better move. Yeah, so let's take with the knight here. Okay, just as I thought. So I'm going to take back, and that'll give myself a relief square for the queen, so it's no longer pinned by this queen bishop battery. So that seems like the natural. Do I have anything better before I move? No, let's go ahead and take the knight, and that has this bishop x-raying the king here. Now if I could redirect my queen to this diagonal, that would be putting pressure here. And white's king is fairly exposed because these their pieces are overly committed on this attack on this side, which I'm not too worried about because I can castle here too. So probably a good time to go ahead and castle. I really don't like my queen and my king on this same diagonal with this battery. So let's go ahead and castle. This bishop down here is really weak. So at the very least, I would like to redirect it and get it on this diagonal. So I have to move my queen here, and then my rooks will be connected. And basically, this threat on this side of the board will just will really be mitigated. So white decides to go ahead and castle on this side of the board. So let's continue with this plan. Redirect my queen to here. Although this pawn was hanging, so I could have also taken the pawn. So do I take the pawn, or do I take back? If I take back, the queen takes the pawn. If I take back, queen takes the pawn. If I take here, queen takes, then I could redirect my bishop to here, which will put this rook protecting that rook. So let's go ahead and take back, so the queen can take here. Which is what they decided to do. And like I said, if I redirect my bishop to there, this pawn will be hanging here. Do I have another threat with the I'm just looking here. So if I redirect here, if I go here, queen takes, then I go here, queen takes the pawn there. So I go there. Now this pawn is unprotected. This pawn is protected by the rook. Let's see, still have both my bishops. White has, I have both my minor pieces, both bishops. White has one minor piece and both their rooks. So I'm slightly ahead of material. Okay, so they do take. Now if I redirect, the queen has to move, and it can't go here, can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. So it has to move to this file. And that also will put the rook on the same file as the king. So let's go here. Okay, so the queen is after this pawn. So I could reposition my rook to there to protect the pawn. I don't have a counter threat at this time, so if I move my rook to there, it's protected by the bishop. So let's go there. This pawn is still hanging there. So they move the pawn. Still have this queen down here to worry about. I need to protect this. I need to protect this bishop here from this attack, so I can move my king or my queen. So let's go here with the rook. If I push here, I could break open this king side. Okay, so white is attacking here. But that's protected by the queen. So I'm going to have to break open a center. So push there. That attacks this pawn. So if I take, white takes back, then I take the knight. So my queen is being attacked here. So if I redirect to here, the knight doesn't really have another threat, can't go there or there. I've got a check there if I take that pawn. Knight is protecting there. So let's take here with a check. Now king has to move. knight's still protecting there. So if I push here, or do I try to redirect my my bishop and get it in a more active position over here? I really like to redirect here. So let's go here. This square is being protected by the knight there. Okay, so we're attacking the rook. So let's redirect the rook to there. Threaten the queen. White does have a check here. So they pin my knight. So let's move the king to here. So bring the knight back. So let's kick with the king. No, because then the bishop's not protected. Let's move king to here. Hope they don't see that. So they have a royal. If they move there, they actually have a royal for it. They've got my queen and my king. So that would be their move if they see it. Oh, no, they don't. That's actually covered by the bishop, so they can't move there. Oh, but they do anyway. So so take here. So now if I could redirect my queen to here, redirect my queen to here and get on the same diagonal with this bishop. Okay, yeah, let's redirect the queen to here. Now I have this threat. So so let's take a look at this for a minute. I got a minute and a half. So this diagonal is protected by the bishop. If I move the queen to here, king can't take back, king can't go there, king can't go there, and that's a checkmate. So quite a bit to review in that game. I really struggled with how to find an edge, and I barely did there at the end. I had a minute and 24 seconds left, and White was really aggressive with that attack, and I didn't quite know the best way to handle it other than just take it one move at a time. So, but it's a win, and I'll certainly take that. But but the important thing about these chess games, especially these videos, is win, lose, or draw. I want to learn something, and it'd be great if my audience learns something as well, and maybe like enjoy watching me develop and learn from these critical lessons. So let's go to the game review. So not the greatest game that I've played by far. I had an accuracy of 67.1. My opponent had a 63.7. I love their avatar, by the way. That is Blazer that I was playing, Blazer_20. I had one blunder. My opponent had 3 blunders. My game rating was 800. The opponent was 650. So looks like there's quite a bit to look at. We both had 5 inaccuracies. I had one mistake. I had 2 mistakes. My opponent had one. So let's jump in and look at the review. Start the review. So just book moves. Starting out with I'm wanting to play the French defense. So just standard book moves. Yeah, just right off the bat, something that I actually considered since White advanced this pawn to e5. One option that I would have had instead of putting this bishop here and blocking this dark square, or putting the knight here and blocking this dark square bishop, if I had moved my c pawn to here, that would have started this this preemptive pawn storm on the queen side and opened up this diagonal on this side. So going back, that's something that I might possibly do, given this setup again. And then again, I put my bishop here, or my other knight here on c6, which just restricts my development of my bishops. My bishops literally have nowhere to go, and that really hurt me. So let's go to analysis right quick. So if I had, like I said, if I had played my pawn there, and that would have also given this queen a diagonal to get out to a more defensive position here to b6. So White plays this this bishop g5 move, which was a mistake. I know what they're wanting to do. They're trying to threaten this queen, pin my knight here, but it's really easy to kick that away, which is what I did. And instead of retreating back to the home square, they pushed the knight, or the bishop, back to h4. My next move should have been putting the G pawn on G5, which would have just really restricted white's development here. The knight would have nowhere to go. The bishop would have to relocate to here. But that's not what I did. I moved my queen, and now I see that that was a mistake. And I should know this motif, because I've got myself in that position before, where I bring this bishop out and then just kind of get trapped with nowhere to go. So the queen move was an inaccuracy, just because I had a better move here with the pawn. Then white, brings the other bishop out again, trying to pin this this knight here, and this time, yeah, I could have kicked here, which I did consider that, but instead I decided to relocate this knight and attack this bishop right here, which was not a bad move. It was not a mistake. Now I kick the bishop. At this point, the game is pretty much even. Neither one of us have taken any pieces yet. Then white brings the queen out, trying to form a battery here. Sorry, here. That's not really a threat. White should have played, yeah, instead of bringing this queen out, they had a better attack here. So since I'm attacking their bishop, they actually had a counterattack here, and that would have also developed this bishop to a more active diagonal, and at the same time threatened me there. So so that's why that queen move was an inaccuracy for white. And at this point, that put me ahead slightly in development. So the eval has me at a +1. Now, this bishop move is a mistake. So why is that a mistake? My logic in moving the bishop to e7 was to put another attacker here, but apparently there was a better move. So if I had instead played rook to b8, then if white I took back, the queen pretty much has to move or trade, and if they trade, if they go here, I take back. Now all of a sudden I have this rook on an open file. So that's why that would have been a better move. But instead, I played the bishop move. Now that's interesting. So G4 is actually a blunder for white, and I knew it was a mistake, but the eval bar went all the way to 3.7 in my favor. So if I take here, which I do believe that's what I did, yeah, I take there. White takes back. I take. Now, where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Then white develops their knight. A castle. Just trying to get my king in a safer position. I'm still way up here. Let's see. Okay, now Queen X C6 was an inaccuracy for white. They should have played instead F4, because this pawn was hanging. But that's not what they played. They played Queen X C6. And how did I respond? So I'm attacking the queen here, assuming there's no way to save this pawn. And the queen does take. I threaten the queen. Queen moves. So far, so good. I'm still up 3.7. I'm just trying to look for a way to protect all my pieces from this queen down here. I know my king is safe over here on this back rank because of my rook. So white attacks my bishop. Okay, now there's where it, there's my blunder. So I pushed the pawn here, and I realized that was a mistake now. So I pushed here, attacking this pawn, but this pawn is actually protected 1, 2, 3 times. So that was a bad choice that I made there. The better move would have been bishop F2. To put the bishop on a safer diagonal. then I would have had a check here. But that's not what I played. So now the game is I was way ahead, but now it's just dead even. It's a dead even game again. So I blundered my lead there. Now I take the pawn, and really what I'm thinking here. By pushing these pawns in the center is this is such a closed position down here, and I'm wasting all my time and my resources trying to protect my pieces from this queen. But I know I know that I have to develop some sort of attack on my king side, so I can attack here. That's what I'm wanting to do. So in order to do that, I have to break open this center. So I'm sure there would have been a better way to do that, but that's kind of my logic with making these pawn trades in the center there. Okay, I don't understand the logic here. So the computer is saying move the queen to here to sacrifice the... Oh! I didn't even realize that in the game until just now. My gosh. So this pawn here on c3 is pinned. It's pinned because of this rook. So this pawn can't move. This pawn cannot move. So if I have moved my queen to here instead, the pawn can't take. This pawn can't take here because that would leave the king in check. Then I could have redirected this, possibly redirected this rook to here, and then now I have I've got a double attack. I've got the pawn or the rook stacked and the queen here. But that's not what I did. I didn't see that. Yeah, okay. Then I could have taken here. Again, this pawn can't take back. So now white is way ahead now. So they're up by 2.6 in the eval bar. And at this point, I know I have to. My only chance is to develop some sort of battery right here with the bishop and the queen. I don't really have a clear tactic. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Okay, here's another inaccuracy. So I'm attacking attacking here, but my rook is under attack. And I played oh, I should have just I could have just taken there. But again, my kind of my plan was to get the bishop over here, and so if I take that would eliminate this this knight, this white knight. But at this point, I'm down to 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and I guess I'm just thinking I really want to get my bishop over here. So now my bishop is pinned, so I move my king to protect the bishop. White checks. I move my king again. And then that's what really hurt white right there. So they end up hanging their knight. Now I'm starting to see my tactic here. And there's a blunder for them. I don't know why they pushed this pawn. I'm not sure what they're thinking there. Putting the rook. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm threatening checkmate on this e4 square, right? Which had no defender. So if they had moved the rook to here, then I wouldn't be able to play this queen move. So that's where they really dropped the ball and messed up. So instead, they pushed the pawn, which, like I said, that really has no purpose. And by doing that, the eval bar went back to 3.7 in my favor. Then I put the queen on e4 to create this battery here. Again, this queen move serves no purpose. They should have played the rook. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So they had the rook right here. And if they had moved the rook to this file, to this F file, which has no attackers, then when I move the queen to here, the rook has an escape square. But as it stands, the king has nowhere to go. He can't go there because it's an occupied square. And I'm threatening to go to this back rank, which is what I did. So there was a checkmate. So I won. I'm not real proud of the win because if I had been playing a more experienced player, I would have lost that. A more experienced player would have never given me those opportunities. So. But I learned a lot, and I feel like I have something to work with. Hopefully you learned a lot too, and hopefully you enjoyed me diving into that and and trying to improve my chess. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll see you again in episode 9. Bye for now.